Hey there. So what we're doing today is, I've got to lean down so I don't have a tripod. But what I'm going to make today for your viewing pleasure, my tummy, is a pizza. So I basically put on the sauce there. That's all I've done so far. I've got olives. So I'll open those up. Lovely fresh Kalamata olives from the supermarket. You can probably get better ones at the market, but these are pretty good. Pitted, I got them pitted because you don't want little stones. Sometimes you get one or two, but you just gotta live with that. I got some fresh pineapple slices. So I'll open those up. Oh, I might tip the juice into a cup. I'll tip the juice into a nice cup here. Just a bit because we want some juice for the rest of the pieces we're not using. So yeah, there we go. Nice pineapple. And got the olives. I haven't cut up my onion yet, so we've got to do that. The olives are nice. Got quite a few because I have some with crackers or whatever. I got some fresh ham. I think it's just like leg ham that's been cut. Oh, it's probably smoked and everything. So that's ham. What I might do now is move this aside. I'll make some room. Stay up. There we are. So I'll keep my pizza to the side and I'll bring it over when I finish them. I've got some anchovies. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I like just a few of them. Gives a bit of salty flavour. Not so much fishy, just a bit more of a salt hit, really. I don't know if that's because anchovies are naturally salty or whether they soak them in brine or something or what they do, but probably they're smoked and then salted and then put in juice and then all sorts of things. I don't know what an anchovy is. It's probably just a tiny little thin little fish, I'd say. A bit like a sardine or something. So yeah, that's the anchovies. You'll all love that. If you're vegetarian, you'll be going. And I thought I'd get some, well, that's the pasta sauce. I got pizza sauce from the shop. So that's gone on already. I don't put a lot of that. It's quite rich. You don't want a sloppy base. I got some pepperoni salami. I thought it might be nice, just a few of those on. It's just, I always like to test it a little bit. Salami, see if it's okay still. That one's alright. Not very hot, a little bit peppery, a bit dry. I got a tomato, I got an onion, and I got, the most important, I went down the shop especially because I forgot it, the cheese. So, my best Aussie accent, mate, I'm gonna make a pizza. It's not pronounced pizza, it's pizza. Leaning Terror Pizzas. So, what we do, take out the mozzarella. That was named after Happy Days, Fonzarelli, because he likes lots of people around him. He's like mozzarella. So yeah. Anyway, what I would do with mozzie, I just slice it. I don't shred it. I just slice it into thin bits. It's easier, and it tastes better on a pizza rather than shredding it up because you get the chunks and the nice smoothness of the cheese rather than all sort of jagged bits. And probably all we need is the head and a little bit of the bum. Probably not too much. I want to make more, so I want to make at least probably 4 pizzas by the end of the week. So that's probably too much, but look, we'll go easy on the rest, eh? So, I always have a little taste of my stuff. It's not bad, not bad. Tomato I'll just cut up. However, doesn't matter. Nice and thin, really. I get here, I'll just sort of turn it on its side and then chop it up this way. You get different pieces then, it's not all the same, you know, not all uniform. And I put a whole tomato on. I'm thinking maybe what I'll do to make it a little bit, I wouldn't put the tomato straight on the sauce. I might cut that little piece out of it. I never liked that piece, I don't know why, it just feels like it's not the tomato, it's a bit of the plant. So I'll cut that little piece out. And I'll chuck it there. So what I'll do with the tomato and the mozzie, I won't put the tomato straight on the base because it's already got tomato, but I want it sort of towards the bottom because with pizza, you want your heavy stuff on the bottom and your lighter stuff towards the top. So the heavy stuff takes longer to cook. The lighter stuff, a bit quicker, so olives, onion. So what I'll do, I'll just put mozzarella on the base, like this. Spread it out a bit because it'll spread out, it'll sort of, just do this. So yeah, it should just be just about enough. Maybe should have a bit extra, but we can move it around. That's probably good actually. So you want it sort of like that, you know. And then what you do, put the tomato in all the sort of on the gaps on the sauce, on the mozzarella cheese, and just sort of spread it around a bit rough, like that. You know, that's a real pizza. You don't want to cover the whole base and like make it all, you know, soggy and yuck. You know, you want it to sort of crisp. You want the air to get through the base a bit. That's why it's got the little holes in it, you know, so the air will get through. So you don't want too much on it. I would say at this point, people go for the meat all the time on the bottom, but I think towards the top of the meat so it cooks a bit better. So I would say for the bottom, I'm going to just put olives because that'll provide a bit of a wall, a bit of a structure to put the other pieces on, so get a bit of air throughout the pizza. So olives can go towards the bottom. People aesthetically like it on top so you can see the little olives, but I think just not too many. You don't want too many. It's probably too many really. I mean, you don't want to overpower it, but I think that's a good amount. Pineapple will go soggy on the bottom, so pineapple towards the top, but probably next onion. So take that aside. And what's good with boards, you give them a wash every time you do this stuff because, oh look, it gets a bit grimy, little bugs get on there. And so it's good to do this by the sink. And as soon as you're done meat or cheese or cut things up, tomatoes, just give it a little wash. It only takes a second. Even your knife, you give it a rinse. Just to keep things all clean and tidy. Make sure you don't get water on the pizza. That's nice, see? I'll just check to make sure the camera's still rolling. Oh yeah, we're all good. Yeah, I've just got it on my my helping hand little device. I'm just resting it on that. It's like the little thing with clips you use to solder stuff. So a bit of onion next. The onion towards the middle because it's got a strong smell. You don't want it to burn on top. The onion's very volatile to getting burnt. So doing this way, the onion in the middle, you sort of cook your pizza a bit longer without worrying it's going to burn. So I would say though only half an onion, so I'm going to cut it in half. I just want, I don't want big pieces, you know, with onion. I want sort of like, I mean, you can even use just little shallots, you know, spring onions. I'll take all that peel off. I'll just chuck in the sink for now, out the way. Yeah, I don't want a lot of onion. That's enough, you know. It's a little piece. Cut it like that, and then probably just little rings. It has dried out a bit, this onion. It's a little bit off. For this part, I'll just chop up so you've got different pieces. I don't want real long pieces, you know. I just want it sort of all rough. Yeah, it's dried out a bit, but still, it'll still be tasty. There's nothing wrong with dried onion. People put dried onion on their noodles, and so this will be nice. I just cut into sort of little bits. It's also good to wash your board because you'll end up washing your hands too, because when you're touching things, you get, you know, bugs and guts, and not guts, but So we'll swap these. I'll put that down there. I'm sure there's nothing under it. A bit of dirt. Not dirt, something, a whole bit of something. So this pizza tray, really, I don't like pizza trays really with holes in the bottom, but that's all I could get because you want to put a little bit of oil on the base and it runs through. This one's a bit small for a pizza. It's not a full large size, which is a bit annoying, but I don't know, maybe they're trying to make people cut down on pizza sizes. They eat so much pizza. That's a good amount of onion, I think. Just want to spread it throughout and all over the place. This is how pizza should be. You should be able to see all the ingredients from the top, not be covered in cheese or something. And that's more of, you know, more of a pie than a pizza. Pizza's like all your scrap ingredients at the end of the week, you know. What I'll do, I'm going to put the pineapple on the top. Cheese is done, everything else. Oh, and the anchovies can go on top too. So pineapple and anchovies on top. Bit of meat in the middle. And that will be fine, I think. I don't want too much ham, just a little piece. Probably just, you know, a chunk like that. Don't have to cut it up, just rip it in little bits, little chunks. Say a little prayer for the piggy that gave this behind on his way to heaven or wherever he went. Thank you, piggy, for working so hard so we can eat. You gave your life purpose. Hopefully one day you won't have to work so hard like all of us. We can have a rest in paradise. I work hard but I don't get any money, but it's just because I'm just caught up online. It's not really viable for someone like me who's had a history as I have. It's hard for me to make money online. I don't really know how, you know. Everything I try to do sort of gets thwarted. So I sort of give up. The pepperoni will look nice on top, like this. So you can see all the different layers. You can see what's on your pizza. And, you know, from there you can sort of say what sort of pizza it is, you know. Oh, this is a pepperoni, salad, tomato, onion. That's enough. Don't overload the pizza. One, it will take too long to cook. Two, it will go soggy. You know, you want it dry and nice and crispy. And I know I should have made my own. I should have made my own dough, but I've got the oven too on already. It's on pizza bake at, I think, 200 degrees, so that should be fine. I think maybe 3 of these rings. I like a lot of pineapple, believe it or not. That's hard to believe. I think 3 rings would be good. Cut it through the other way, and through again, in little little eighths. Little eighths. Or you know, smaller, but they'll dry up a bit. Eighths is probably the best. And again, I'll move that away, bring back my pizza so you can see. And just plop those on without dropping the board. See, it doesn't go far actually, 3 rings. So if you love pizza, love pineapple, you might want a bit more. It will just drop into the little gaps. See, I like to put it right out to the edges. There's quite a bit here actually. I'll be able to put quite a bit on and actually have a few little snacky bits. Just to try the pineapple, make sure it's fresh. It's very good to try your ingredients. You don't want to put an off piece, excuse me, off piece of salami on, do you? It's quite good there. And then we'll just get our knife. A few little pieces of this. And I've got a special surprise for the top. I like to break the anchovies up a little bit so I don't get a huge piece. I've got a special surprise to go on top. So I don't want a lot. That's probably enough. Maybe one or two more. I want to keep some for the week, so. And maybe just one more, I think. I want quite a little bit of saltiness, make it a bit interesting. You might think this won't go with it, but cloth. Hope I've got everything. I think that's all you need on one, you know. I'd love to take a photo actually. But what I might do is stop the video and take a quick photo and then come back later when it's finished. But that's it. I'll just put on the special ingredient. I picked this earlier and gave it a wash. It's just a little bit of basil, which is nice. It's dried a little bit, which is alright. Just a little bit on there, you know. Let's just spice it up a bit. Some people put heaps of dried herbs on. I think just a little bit of basil, you know. Doesn't even have to be dry or wet or fresh. This has been sitting a while. If you crunch it in your fingers a bit, you get the smell and the flavours through it. It's not the sweet basil, I don't think. I think this is like a different one. It looks a little bit more like mint, but not as furry. So hopefully it's fine, but that's beautiful. There you go. Traditional pizza. You wouldn't want more than that. I don't like too much capsicum all over mine. Maybe you could put a few little pieces of capsicum to make it look nice. You could put the long strips where you cut it, you know, to divide it up. But yeah, enjoy.